All right, and we are live. Let me know if you can hear me in the comments section. Just checking, just making sure. We are live. So what on earth is happening? Bitcoin got a very nice move from the downside to the upside. And apologies for how I'm looking today. I was actually going to skip today's content because I traveled from Canada to Dubai. So I am now back in Dubai. Um, a nice 13-hour flight. And the first thing I did when I got back, showered, and here we are streaming. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin price action and identify what could be next in this market. You'll have to excuse me because I feel like I'll be a little bit slow today compared to the energy we had on Friday, but let's do it. Let's do it. All right, guys. So if you tuned into Friday's live stream, which was our record, we did a 6-hour live stream on Friday. And right as the market closed, I was looking for long opportunities, right? And the long opportunity that I was eyeing as the market was closing was a tap into below this liquidity zone. Now, I entered my trade and it was just hovering in some profits. And then I sent a message in my Telegram group saying that I'm effectively going to close that position because the price action looked weak going into the weekend. And that's effectively what we got, some weak price action going into the weekend. And by the way, guys, you guys know I have my Telegram community where I share all my trades and stuff, but I also have this Telegram down here where like there's no deposit requirement, there's nothing. And sometimes I'll share some updates in there as well if that interests you. But basically, I updated you guys saying I was going to close my position because of how weak the daily candle close was for Bitcoin. And that was the right decision because I would have been stopped out. So I took, I think it was like $500 profit on stream, and that's it. Moved on to the next one. Then we dumped into an even more critical region for Bitcoin. And that region was the anchored VWAP from the 65K low. You'll remember we talked about this on the channel at length. If we take the anchored VWAP from this pivot low, where we tapped into the value area low of this entire range, it was always going to be a very significant level for Bitcoin to get some kind of reaction from. Now, it's very tricky to anticipate a reaction like this, but hey, if you enter that on a reclaim of the value area, of the anchored VWAP from the 65K pivot and the bottom of the bull market support band, a key confluence zone, then that was a very nice longing opportunity. Now, of course, the only day where I forced myself to not look at the market, on a Saturday, we got this move. So, what is next for Bitcoin now? What is next? There's a lot of liquidity to the downside. I'm reading some comments. Vision pulsed Fat Boy. Yes, there is. However, guys, there is some liquidity to the upside, and we'll be talking about that in today's video. Because right now, as it stands, there is that upside liquidity long ago. So these positions are protected. I'm not concerned if Bitcoin rockets because at the end of the day, I've secured some profits. That being said, we talked about Zcash as well, and I had to close my position because my invalidation was hit. So I did lose on my Zcash trade. So right now, I want to keep it as simple as possible for everyone. The US stock market just opened now, and because I'm in Dubai, it's actually very favorable, this time zone. So I'll be able to stream every single time before the US stock market opens. So I'm looking forward to that. Right now, though, if we take a look at Bitcoin, there's really only two things that I would pay attention to. Where did Bitcoin get its reaction on this move up? $77,600. If you've been tuning into my content, you know how pivotal this level is. I gave you updates in my premium group as well. You want to see closes above $77,600. This was that weekend low of 2 weekends ago, and it's still acting as a critical level in the market. If you are bullish here, if you are bullish, we must reclaim this level. And I would say a daily close above the level, because 4 hours you can get them. But I was always cautious about longing here simply because on the daily, it is still acting as a major zone that Bitcoin is struggling at. So unless we can actually get a daily close above this level, I think that we can actually sweep the lows again. And I warned you guys in my latest video update on YouTube, I actually think that there could be a lot more chop and it could be even more frustrating for both sides of the market. My base case remains exactly the same. I still think that we will be seeing new lows for Bitcoin over the course of this year. Some of you guys asked me, do you still think 60K will be breached? My answer is yes, but it requires so much patience. And if you're the type of trader that likes jumping in and out of trades, honestly, this is a pretty good environment for it. From a swing trading perspective, it's been relatively tricky because I come on the stream and I share with you guys, hey, I'm holding my trades, but really it hovers at a loss to a profit, at a loss to a profit, and nothing has changed from these trades. So I'm looking for new opportunities, and I would consider longing Bitcoin, assuming we can get a daily close above this level. Any pullbacks after a daily close above this level, I would actually look to long, targeting some upside liquidity up to $80,000. However, breach this low, and I think it's cooked, and I think that Bitcoin will make its next low into June, which we've seen happen historically. Now, let me go through some comments. Sailor is going to kill crypto. Sailor is selling. Inverse head and shoulders. Yeah, that's also valid, guys. Look, it's possible here. It's very, very possible. So pay attention to this. All right, guys. I'm going to go through some comments. Loud and clear. I'm at work and watching you, mate. Thank you. Hearing you just right. Waiting for you. I got really good charts. Bitcoin is bearish. Look, we're red, but there is some upside liquidity. We cannot ignore that fact. So again, I want to keep it as simple as possible in terms of trading setups. I'm on the daily chart here. If we get daily closes above $77,600, it does appear like Bitcoin can have another move towards its 200-day moving average, which has been downtrending. It's currently sitting at $80,200. Now, this is very interesting because yes, there's some liquidity to the upside. Yes, a little bit got built up on those weekend lows, but the Coinbase Premium Index just continues selling like you would not believe. It's just insane. Nothing but straight selling pressure. So it's going to be very interesting. 1 day time frame, we're pretty even. And taking a look at this liquidation map, what you'll notice is that on the 1 month, there's actually more cumulative short liquidation leverage in the market compared to cumulative long liquidation leverage in the market. And there's a positioning imbalance, which means the upside carries 66% of the at-risk notional in the last 30 days. So while I am short, while I do think that Bitcoin could be headed lower over the course of the next few weeks, I don't want to ignore this data. I'm just presenting the data, and some of you want Bitcoin to just dump. I would say that we need to breach these lows and get closes below these lows to confirm that yes, we're cooked for Bitcoin and that this was the guaranteed high. But there are no guarantees in crypto. And on that note, please remember that nothing that I discuss on the channel should be construed as financial advice. I'm just a guy on the internet sharing all of his own personal trades and his overall market analysis. You can read the entire disclaimer in the description down below. So let's go through some comments. Sailor moved some Bitcoin to Coinbase. Hi, Matt. I caught the 74,600 long, waiting to add if we hit 75-ish. The liquidity map shows upside, but 90 days shows downside. Exactly. So that's in line with my higher time frame analysis. So I showed you the 1 month here, but if we really zoom out, 90-day does suggest there is still Oh, just under 2 times more cumulative long liquidation leverage in the market compared to cumulative short liquidation leverage in the market. So a potential scenario could be, again, people add to their longs, we flush out this cluster of shorts over here, and then we come back down. You know how the market makers like it. If we're gonna nuke, they want to grab as much upside liquidity as possible before sending Bitcoin lower. And it's still my base case that Bitcoin will be headed lower. It's not a matter of if, but rather when, in my opinion. Now, could I be wrong? Of course. I've been wrong before, but it's still my base case. I'm basing my investment thesis on this base case, and my trades overall have been reflecting this in this market. So, stocks are showing continued strength. What can we expect? Because in midterm years, stocks usually show strength, and it doesn't necessarily have that great of an impact on Bitcoin. In fact, Bitcoin largely underperforms stocks in the midterm years. So let's go 4 hour. Did we just, oh, would you look at that? Is that accurate? Yeah, it looks like we just made a new all-time high for stocks. It's absolutely baffling to me how weak Bitcoin is, but we can't argue with the data, guys. We cannot argue with the data. Let's take a look at the midterm years again. You know I like this chart. So we're still a little bit extended. Normally we're already lower than where we are right now in midterm years. Let's see, guys. If stocks continue to soar, then yeah, Bitcoin can hold on a little bit here. Hi, Matt. Yeah, so that's the thing, guys. I think that so long as we stay below 77.6, it's bearish. However, the moment we reclaim 77.6 on a daily timeframe candle close, any pullbacks, I would probably be looking to go long, and I'll share those updates within my community. You have to remain adaptive in this market. And if you guys wanna laugh at me, I actually lost around 60K on my Zcash trade, and now Zcash has already started moving lower. So I'm a little bit annoyed about that, but what can you do? You win some, you lose some. My invalidation was hit, and so I closed my trades, no questions asked. Now we see, guys. Now we see. The moment that stocks sneeze, I think that Bitcoin will head significantly lower. So let's see. We got several daily wicks above to the level. You can see how it's been reacting. Now it's just a matter of, can we actually break the level? Paz Maria Vallejos, hello. I hope you're doing well. I didn't laugh at you, my mate. Oh, some people did. It's funny. It's okay. Guys, like, I've lost trades before. I will lose trades again. But, I mean, I wouldn't be showing you my trades if I wasn't net profitable. So at the end of the day, I'm doing this to share what I'm personally doing in the market. Win or lose, everything is shared within my group. And speaking of wins, still holding on to my big Bitcoin short, because I still think that we're headed lower, even if we are to grab some upside liquidity. This trade that you're seeing here, along with this trade that you're seeing here, both of these shorts were shared within my premium group. If you want to see how I'm personally navigating the market, whether we go up or down, which trades I personally take for free, remember you do have the first link in the description down below. If you DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram, you'll be able to join my private group. It's where I share all of my own personal stuff. And we also have that $5 million trading competition where we're absolutely crushing it. We're crushing it. We are ranked number 2. Let me see if I can go find it right now. It's crazy. We're doing very, very well in this competition. So if you haven't already, I would recommend you sign up, and I'll share it in the chat down below. So you guys were, here you go. Also, guys, when alts start pumping, it's usually the beginning of the end. Guys, check this out. This is the Bluffin event. If you want to join, the trading Lamine Yamal. Damn. I wish I had his football skills. So look at this, guys. I know you guys aren't, I don't normally talk about these kinds of competitions, but you can trade for $5 million. It's crazy. Bluffin rarely does this. It's a huge event. If you want to join me and my team trading and you're a regular trader in this market, make sure you click the second link in the description down below just to show you how we're currently performing. Oh, I lost it now. Just to show you how we're currently performing, if I scroll down here, I am with Andy and Devolt from Mind Pillar Markets. So our group is down here. So we're currently ranked second out of all of the teams on Bluffin. You heard that right. Guys, there's only, my YouTube channel has 18,000 subscribers. So you guys have been absolutely smashing this. Obviously, I've signed up myself and I'm contributing to this too. So we're ahead of Jason Casper, and now we just have these guys to beat. So go ahead and sign up if you haven't already. Let's win this tournament. All right. So I saw a question here. Why is $77,600 important? And I can tell you exactly why. Just look at the reaction that we've been getting. It doesn't actually have to do with any other historical price action, but look at the local reactions that we've been getting. The reason why it initially became a pivot level in my mind when it comes to trading is because usually if you get a significant dump on the weekend, we manage to reclaim the level. And what I mean by this is this dump that occurred to $77,600 happened on a Saturday. And you can see that we never managed to reclaim the level until far later into that week, which was last week. And the crazy part is we didn't manage to reclaim it on a daily time frame. So taking a look at this, if we go on the daily, look, you can't ignore these kinds of reactions. Rejection, 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 rejection. Now, it is true that the more times you tap into a level, the more likely it is to break. However, we can't ignore this kind of reaction. And so that's why, from my own perspective, if we break above here and on the daily we close above the level, any pullbacks for me would be a decent longing opportunity with my stops likely below these levels. That's at least what I would be looking to do. But first we have to break above the level. I'm not gonna go long here. I know you guys have pointed out inverse head and shoulders pattern. That's fair, but I wanna see the reclaim of this level because you can see the nasty reactions that we get at the level. It's super critical. Ganesh, whales have been creating exit liquidity across tokens, privacy first, now AI, and many other alts now trending only to dump harder when the right time for whales comes. I completely agree. Completely agree with that. Look, it's one of my main strategies has been shorting some of these altcoins that pump. But you need to be careful, and this was proven with my Zcash trade. I was a little bit too eager to enter a short, and I ended up losing on that trade. I should have waited for much higher, forming a little bit of a double top before entering that short. But my base case is still exactly the same. The moment that Bitcoin shows a sliver of weakness, if we are to break this low, I think alts will get annihilated. And you can already see the narratives on Twitter. People are getting very, very excited about accumulating alts already. And I mean, I can understand because we've seen some altcoins do really good over the past couple weeks. But when I look at alts, if I'm actually going to put my money into it, I want to hold it for longer than just a couple weeks. And this is not the market environment conducive to that. So let's see. Bitcoin topped in June, every bear market, June 3rd to 6th, June 4th in 2014, and June 6th. Let's take a look at that, Sergio. Comment down below if you want me to take a look at Bitcoin's price action in bear market years in June. Let me know and we'll take a look at it. Why do you look at liquidity? Why is that an indicator? Because liquidity shows you where people's orders are, and the market makers in a ranging environment like to grab the liquidity. The structure on the chart comes first, guys. Always. I've said this always. The structure on the chart comes first. However, I use liquidity as a confluence to my analysis. So right now you can see that Bitcoin is trying to move up here. I still think that we can get a squeeze to the upside. I know a lot of people have turned max bearish here, but I'm telling you, I've seen this before where we get a squeeze, then we dump. So if you're already in a long from down here, congratulations, that position should be protected, and you're likely sitting in some solid profits at this point. JV97, what's up, legends? Market makers need your money. All right, let's go to the previous bear market, shall we? I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I think today's live stream will probably be at most 3 hours, probably 2.5, given the 13 hours of being on a plane. Let me see if I could find my cleaned up chart. I think this one will do. We'll do Coinbase. Okay. So Sergio said Bitcoin topped in every June of bear market. So June 3rd to 6th in 2014. Great that the Coinbase chart doesn't have it. My gosh. Let's do this one. No, this one. Okay. Okay. Let's go to June. Yeah, this is the scenario that I think a lot of people would hate, and it would be Bitcoin just hovering like around the highs. Right here, you're saying? So we had our top here in June, creating that local top. Then if we go to, and the rest is history. Then if we go to you said June 4th, 2018. June 4th, 2018. Yeah. Fair. Going into June, we rose up a little bit and then we swept the lows. Guys, if history is to repeat, the actual bear market lows can be much later in the year. So there's a chance here that if we are to pump, see, look, wow, look at that reversal. Look at that reversal, guys. I'm telling you, we start getting closes above here, it looks really good for higher. But a potential scenario that I just want to put on your radar is potentially dropping into June, and maybe we sweep the liquidity down to around the 70K zone, and everyone thinks like, oh, it's over, we're going to head lower, and then the most annoying possible thing would happen, and that would be Bitcoin just chopping around here for weeks and weeks before making a new low. I still think 60K will be breached, by the way. It's still my base case. I'll let you know if that changes, but for now, it's still 100% my base case. Uh, Matsir, I'm a long-term investor holding USDT, waiting to buy Bitcoin lower. What strategy would you personally use to enter this market? Thanks. I mean, first and foremost, it really depends. Do you already have Bitcoin exposure or are you fully in USDT? I've always advocated for never just being 100% in cash. I hold some Bitcoin from the previous bear market, which we've discussed a lot on the channel before and within my group. I actually sold some Bitcoin back above $80,000. And what I would say is anything sub 60K, in my opinion, of course, is fair game for Bitcoin. Even if we can go down to the 40Ks. If we make it sub 60, I think a slow DCA approach is probably the best approach for someone that doesn't have exposure in the market. Heck, if you don't have any exposure in the market, I would have probably accumulated maybe even at the recent lows. But because I just didn't pull the trigger and I didn't feel the need to. I was just trading the markets and I'm just sitting in my spot portfolio. A new rally up in order to make a bigger dump. Bro, why did you move back to Dubai for the summer? I'm actually only here for a little bit. Just had to tidy some stuff up. I didn't. I'm not here for the entire summer, but it is hot. It is very hot. The second I landed, it was like 38. I'm like, oh man. How does it feel living in Dubai? Does it get boring? Nah, man. It's not boring at all. I love it here. Look, I'm really focused and dialed into my work when I'm in Dubai. I'm really focused and dialed into my exercise, my routines. I eat very well. Um, it's a lot of it's a lot more like working environment in my opinion, of course. And so, yeah, no complaints. I like it here. 42 years old. Damn. I must look rough today for you to think that I'm 42 years old. Um, yeah, guys, it's hard for me to even keep my eyes open. Let me go through some questions here. Guys, if you haven't already, destroy that like button. Bringing you the live stream after a 13-hour flight. And I'm loving this time zone, I have to say, because right now it is, it's about to be 6 p.m. in Dubai, and it's very easy for me to cover the market open at this time. I'll cover the market open up until when it's like the lunch break, and then if I do a really long stream, then I'll just be up late here. Club 1984. Ah, that's what you're looking at. You know what, guys? I saw this brand on Instagram and I thought, wow, this is actually sick. And within seconds, I just ordered the shirt. I thought it was a cool shirt. Sorry, I just want to know your opinion. The question is if I leave limit orders or just wait. Yeah, so typically I haven't done that, but limit orders are good if you just want to add some stink bids, right? If Bitcoin ever just dumps like crazy, then maybe you get those orders filled. But usually like you get a range, and I think that range will be somewhere between, sorry for such a big range, but somewhere likely between 40 and 60K. So I think there's going to be time to slowly DCA in is my point. Maybe I won't catch the Pico bottom, but I don't really care. I think there will be an accumulation range. I think it's an obnoxious shit. Sorry, bro. In Dubai? Oh, obnoxious shirt. That's funny. I like it, bro. I saw it and I said, I'm gonna get it. It's cool. Clauslow, hello. I hope you're doing well. So yeah, for me right now in this zone, it's it's a no trade zone, really. There's not much clarity, guys. And while one can speculate on the inverse head and shoulders, I think that my best bet is to just wait this out a little bit. But it is looking, it's very wicky, you know? Very, very wicky. 4-hour candle closes in 2 hours from now, so let's see. Breaking above 77.6 would be very nice. What do you think? Driving the Zcash pump now. I'm a bit shocked that it's doing so well considering the Clarity Act being so against it. Look, there's a lot of backers for Zcash, a lot of people trying to pump their bags, very wealthy individuals as well. And so I think it makes sense. In bear markets, we have seen some altcoins outperform, like Zcash, and I was doing my best to try to take advantage of the shorting opportunity, which unfortunately I didn't. But hey, that's bear market price action, right? Don't you think that Bitcoin needs to take the wick below 76? This one? 76,271. This one? No, I don't think it needs to. Absolutely not. Doesn't need to. I mean, it really depends how this candle closes. If this one closes a red candle and the candle closes like down here, then yeah, the probabilities are that we grab that, and that could be a potential long setup. However, if we close as we're seeing now, perhaps we just pop up above. That's why I'm saying, guys, there isn't a ton of clarity here. 77.6, you really want to look at that. Get a daily close above there, and I'm going to be looking to long pullbacks. Otherwise, I'm sitting on my bum. How does it feel losing 80,000? I lost 63,000 to be precise. But how does it feel losing even though your wins are bigger? Isn't the figure detrimental? Yes. However, I have to say that it's just a matter of your own capital size and your own portfolio. Because I've gotten this question before. There's some guys on Twitter that will lose, they'll lose $1 million on a trade. But if they're winning $2 million on a trade, it's the kind of drawdown that you expect with that kind of capital. And so, yeah, it sucks when you put it in perspective, like, oh, I could have purchased this with that money, like, I don't know, a vehicle, just as an example. But it is what it is. It's like, how would I feel if I were to win 3 times that or 4 times that, which I have realized on this trade. Like, this is fully realized, right? So it's part of the game. That's all I can really say. It's part of the game. Yo, nice to see you live. What's the vibe today? Purchase Media. The vibe today is choppy price action until we can get a reclaim of 77.6 or a sweep of some kind of lows here. Like, these lows are interesting as well. Stock market just made an all-time high. Yeah, did the plant die? Guys, my plant did not die, and I've been away for 2 months. It's crazy. I'm pretty pleased with that. I think it's called like a snake plant, and it's pretty big, and so they don't need a ton of water. It's a little bit floppy, so I'm just gonna nurse it back to life. But no, it's alive. It is alive. I have a 10% short at 77.1, 30% short at 77.6, and 60% limit order at 78.3. Do you think Bitcoin can go up to 78.5? Thank you. Yes. Yes. Look, right now, just to give you some more context as to where we are, we're right in the bull market support band. When Bitcoin rejects around its 200-day moving average in a bear market, we tend to find support right into this bull market support band. And this is proven cycle after cycle after cycle. So if I zoom out here, you can see that right here, and this is a weekly time frame, keep that in mind, we rejected right before the 200-day, found a little bit of support, and then we popped back up and lower. In the previous cycles, again, I got to stop pulling up that chart. Wow, guys, stocks are just ripping. Stocks are just ripping. And I know it's depressing to still be bearish on Bitcoin while stocks are ripping, but it is what it is, guys. This is bear market price action. But take a look at this. Reject near the 200-day moving average, right into the bull market support band, drop. So I think 2014 might be the best example. Yeah, take a look at this. This is what I mean. And I think we could be in for something similar. So in 2014, we actually went above the 200-day moving average, above the level, and we just chopped around here. But on the moves down, this is the weekly time frame, mind you, on the moves down, look at where we're finding support. Right into this bull market support band. It provides support, it can get us, Bitcoin can even pop up and maybe make a higher high or a lower high and then roll over. So like, we're not fortune tellers here. We just play the probabilities. And if Bitcoin manages to continue holding on to its bull market support band, the probabilities would suggest that we can see a continued squeeze to the upside. Right now, we're like dead center of the bull market support band. So let's see. Oftentimes, it can create a lower high. So maybe what happens is we get a move up here, and then we pop back up to around this zone and get rejected at the 200-day once more, right at around 80K. Or maybe the market makers have something else in store for us, and we just rally on up, sweep these highs, create a higher high, and then drop. But the final outcome, in my opinion, will still be the same. Could Bitcoin reach 85K if it breaks above 77K? Look, it's possible, considering we have the anchored VWAP from all-time high up there. But this is like, if we make it up here, guys, I'm telling you right now, for me at least, it's a giga shorting opportunity. But right now, structurally, it's hard to say. I just don't see where the overall buying pressure can come from. I think these movements are very much just liquidity driven. Market makers toying around, liquidating longs, liquidating shorts. But like when you're looking at overall buying pressure, it's effectively non-existent in this bear market. No one wants to buy Bitcoin here. So it's holding up until it doesn't, in my opinion. Structurally, is it possible for Bitcoin to tag 89K? Okay, so like, if we're talking about possible, and you want to assume that we're in a range, then yeah, the answer is yes. If you want to assume that this is the top of the range at 97 point, call it 98, down to 60K, and right now we're in basically the middle of the range, then yeah, anything is possible. But this pivot is super critical to reclaim, $80,600. And we weren't able to get several daily closes above the level. So we dropped. But this would effectively give us acceptance back into this range, which I guess structurally speaking would allow Bitcoin to move higher. But it's not my base case. It is not my base case. Bro, what's with the possible questions? Yes, it's possible. Anything is possible. Yeah, anything is possible. Why didn't you take profits in Zcash, close it before it turns to lose, and now you're streaming? If it was me, I would be in my room crying, but you're still great, tough guy. Respect. One, because my profit target zone didn't get hit, and I could have probably moved my stops to break even. Perhaps that would have been the better approach. And sometimes I do that, but it is what it is. My profit targets weren't hit, and I waited for my invalidation. A lot of the times I place my trades and I just let the trades play out. If they play out, they play out. If they don't, they don't. And that's it. I move on to the next trade. Again, guys, it's all in proportion to your own risk management, right? Like, I'm okay with losing that kind of capital because when I do get the wins, they greatly exceed the losses. And that's part of the game. Whether you're trading with $1,000, $100, $100,000, a few $1,000,000, tens of millions of dollars. You know, guys that are trading with, say, tens of millions of dollars have incurred $1,000,000 losses before, right? So it's just part of the game. Isn't the stock market manipulated to keep going up while the major IPOs like SpaceX are upcoming? I mean, I don't know about manipulated to go up, but yeah, the AI sector is really driving the stock market forward, right? So, yeah. Bitcoin is structurally weak. It is. You zoom out, it depends. Like, everyone has a thesis, right? Some people believe that capital will flow from stocks into Bitcoin. Hedge funds will just go, all right, we've gotten our gains in the stock market, now it's time to pump Bitcoin. But as we are in the midterm year and as we are in a bear market and as inflation is rising and the likelihood that we get higher rates, the riskier assets typically don't perform as well. And a lot of people are complaining about this Bitcoin price action, but I have to remind you guys, Bitcoin did an 8x basically from the bear market bottom to the bull market top. So when you significantly outperform any other sector, you have to expect weakness to the downside relative to those other sectors in a bear market. And that's just the way it goes. So I don't think that Bitcoin is going to catch some kind of major bid. But let's see. I hold spot Bitcoin, and if we do, I'd be more than happy to take advantage of the upside. But for now, it's not my base case. Will's Scarlet, yes, you can see my trades here. I am still in my Bitcoin shorts. But these positions are protected, guys. So what this means is my stop loss is at break even. So I can't lose any money on this trade. I've secured 300K on this one. I'm just sitting tight. Yeah, brilliant. You guys always make this shit look so easy. It's not it's not easy. Like I said, I lost money recently, so I have to live with that. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. I gave you a like, and now I'm going outside. Beautiful weather here in Spain. See you later. Williams World, absolutely amazing. I will be visiting Spain this summer as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Jay Beers, at what point would you have considered yourself an experienced trader? How many years in? Honestly, probably like 5 years in, where I was like, okay, I'm experienced. But again, you already start noticing it with the capital that you're using and your risk tolerance and how you manage your positions. And you know what they say? It takes less than 6 months to find a winning strategy. And the next few years that you're trading, it's literally just about emotional discipline and, yeah, managing your emotions and learning how to do proper risk management. So most of it isn't even finding a winning strategy. It's just respecting that strategy, which, again, is why I closed my trade at a loss, because I was invalidated. Matt, I'm back. Let's go 7 hours today. Not a chance. Guys, if you're just tuning into the stream now, I came back from Canada and I had a 13-hour flight. If there's one thing I can promise you, it's that today will not be a record long stream. We did 6 hours on Friday. So sorry about that, but next time around. From your experience, is there any chance the stop loss doesn't activate when you are longing? That hasn't happened to me, no. Look, I trade on exchanges that I trust. Bluffin is my go-to exchange. You guys know this by now. If you're not trading on there, what are you even doing at this point? Unless you can't access it, then I understand. But I have other options in the description down below. And if you want to see how I'm trading the market, remember, you DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram, and you can join my group for free. But I've never had that issue of a stop loss not hitting on Bluffin, so I only really work with exchanges that I personally use. And this is one of them. This is my main one. And speaking of Bluffin again, if there's a lot of new guys to the stream, I'm pretty damn proud of this. They have a crazy competition now. Trade for $5 million, squad up, beat AI, and it's from May 14th to June 15th. There's 19 days left. There's 3,200 teams, and my team, along with Mind Pillar Markets, we are now ranked second out of everyone on Bluffin. So if you're not joining me, I don't know what you're doing, because there's going to be some crazy potential prizes. And yeah, we are number 2 here, ahead of Jason Casper. So let's see, guys. Let's see if we can bump up to number 1. And if you want to join, guys, that's the second link in the description down below. If you're already signed up with me, you just click this and you click the button here. It'll bring you to this screen, and you just click register now, and you should be good to go. All right, Bitcoin looks like it wants to make its move. Let's see. Let's see. What is invalidation for your current bear strategy? Honestly, if we start to get like so you see this massive confluence zone up here that I've discussed time and time again on the channel. And just to give you a reminder why it's so important, this previous wick pivot from the other range, we have the point of control from the tariff capitulation low, and I was eyeing this level for a potential short, but I entered earlier because I saw the weakness earlier, and they anchored VWAP from all-time high. So this zone, if we start to get like weekly closes above this zone, for now call it 85K, I might have to reconsider things. But a lot of people have their invalidations all the way up here at 98. I wouldn't want to wait that long, but let's see. Let's see, guys. Hey Matsuri, good day from Australia. Love your dedication for the community, doing a live stream even after your exhausting journey. Thank you very much, man. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. My objective is to do 6 pieces of content per week. I only take 1 day off, and if I didn't need it, I wouldn't do it, but I need it. Otherwise, you burn out. And now, based on the votes in my Telegram, it looks like I'm going to be doing 3 live streams a week, 3 videos a week. And we'll keep it at that. All right, we're approaching our level here. Are we in a short? I don't know about we. I've been in my shorts for quite some time. We're popping here, guys. This is the level. How many times are we going to wick into the level? Is it going to break? Is this finally going to break? What happened to your scalp long on Friday? Mr. Cal 20. So I talked about it at the beginning of the live stream. Basically, I entered my scalp long, right? I was in some decent profits, or I shouldn't even say decent. It was like a couple of percent profit, and it was just hovering and hovering and hovering. And I sensed a lot of weakness going into the daily close here because we longed right around here. And I said, guys, I'm going into a weekend. I don't want to monitor this. And it looks like Bitcoin could capitulate into the weekend, and therefore I closed my trade. I think I made like $500 profits, but percentage-wise, it was basically a break-even trade, simply because I was expecting lower. And we did get lower, and we tapped into my highly interested zone, the bottom of the bull market support band and the anchored VWAP from the 65K pivot. So I know that there's some members within my community that entered long here, and they were messaging me about it on Saturday. And now that trade is, you know, risk-free. But for my own sake, I'm not in a long right now. Did you fly Emirates business class on your 13-hour flight? I did. 33 Ethereum. Dinner money is such a baller. Yeah, it's such a nice plane. Like, I have to say, like, it's an enjoyable experience. But you know, you're all, keep in mind, it's not just the travel, right? It's the time zone. Canada is 9 hours behind, so now I'm adjusting. Normally, I'd be like, I'd be just waking up. What is the plan, short or long? The plan is, I want to see a daily close above $77,600, and if we do get that, then I would look for a pullback for a potential long, targeting some upside liquidity perhaps up to this 200-day moving average. That's my plan. But so long as we hold, so long as we keep on seeing this as resistance, then it's not going to be pretty. But honestly, I'm kind of optimistic here. I think that we could push through given how many times we've tested this level. Like, it's a lot. This to me screams squeeze higher, you know? You're a bear all day. I mean, I'm a higher time frame bear, but I'm looking for a long. I took a long on the live stream, so that's not true. I took a long on the live stream on Friday. So there's a lot of radiation exposure flying as well, plus oxygen that they pump into the car. Yeah, true. Keep dancing, bears. I think Bitcoin's going to go higher. I don't know what you're saying, Mohammed. Again, daily close above, like daily close where we're currently at, I'm looking for a pullback and I'm going for a long. This is very grindy price action to the upside. But the Coinbase selling continues. So this is why I think it's very much just market makers doing their thing. More longs today than shorts. Makes sense. This is going to be an interesting week, I'll tell you that. I think we grab this and come back down. Let's get the first hourly close above it. Purchase media, yep, I'm still looking for a long. Dennis Tennis, just joined your group and wonder what the outcome will be. Cool. Yeah, I can't promise any outcomes, but what I do in my group is I share all of my own personal trades and my overall market analysis. So you can use that information as you wish, but I just share what I am personally doing in the market on a day-by-day, week-by-week basis outside of my YouTube content. So whenever I take a trade, it is shared within my group. What are you thinking, long or short? Well, right now, if we get acceptance above 77.6, I'm looking for a pullback and a long. If we close below 77.6 again, I might actually add to my shorts because I have my shorts open, guys. Remember, my shorts are open. Stops at break even, though. That short was taken on the live stream. Any advice for someone that wants to develop their own winning strategy? You think AI could put together something? I imagine everyone is doing that, so it probably won't work. It's possible. I'm sure AI could put together something for you. But you just have to be specific about what you want. 78K. $78,000 Bitcoin. New. Michael Saylor must be buying today. Maybe. I wonder, let's see. I don't think it's... Yeah, a little bit, but... I think Dance liquidated. Muhammad, my man, I'm nowhere near liquidated. I realize profits, my friend. I don't know what else to say. I made 300K on this trade. If I get stopped out at break even, I get stopped out at break even. This could be a potential interesting zone here. A sweep of these highs. 78.14. Or let me grab this. No, I don't hold Falcon Eye. I do not hold any altcoins long term. Although I would consider in the depths of the bear market. You guys think Satoshi's no longer on Earth? What is this talk? What is this talk? Guys, daily close like this would be very, very good for the bulls. Very good. Patience. I'm shorting from higher, guys. I'm not entering a short here, although I might. I might enter a new short. We'll let you know. Boo boop boo 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 boop boo boo. Hyperliquid, what do you think of it? I think it's going to be one of my altcoins that I'll pick up in the bear market. But right now it's sitting at all-time highs, right? Look at this. Stock market just having a field day. Just having a field day. Love your Casablanca shirt. Thank you very much. I'm in Dubai, so I thought that it would fit the theme. All right. This is a potential short setup, eh? If we sweep and then get acceptance. For all the scalpers out there, it is possible. NASDAQ all-time high? It's just unreal. Unreal. I'm happy I own stocks, guys. You gotta diversify. It's nice. So nice. 30,000. Unreal. Unreal. What's going on, Bitcoin? Look, guys, I am so bullish on Bitcoin in the long term, but I have to be honest, I continue to expect severe underperformance compared to the stock markets. Don't shoot the messenger. Look, we got a nice zone up to the high 78s. That could be an interesting sweep. Here's the thing, though. A lot of people have been saying retest of $79,000 to $80,000, and I'm going short. I see this all across my social media. So I think that two things could happen. One, either we reject already from here, and I'd be happy because my shorts would just continue to print on the way down. Or two, we blow past the level that everyone is looking to short. But it is absolutely insane to observe Bitcoin's general weakness against the stock market. Good morning, legends. It is evening for me now. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. This is what I'm saying, guys. $77,600, such a pivotal level. Such a pivotal level. Now, the only annoying part about now being in Dubai is that I will be sleeping when we get the daily close. But that's okay. If there's one thing I'm confident in at this point, I don't think the bear market is over. I know there's a lot of people saying that it is. I don't think it's over. Just putting it out there. Blessed afternoon, coach. Good to see you again. Live. Thank you for your teaching. My pleasure. Matsir, why do you live in Dubai? Spain is more fun. I agree in the sense that Spain is a lot of fun, perhaps too much fun, and I don't know if I would get much work done if I lived in Spain. I'm expecting to have a great time when I go and visit, though. Is Bitcoin really decoupling from the rest of the markets? That can also be a lot of fun in the near future. Paz Maria Vallejos, absolutely. So here's the thing, guys. If you're just tuning into the stream now, a lot of people are frustrated with Bitcoin doing this nonsense and not just skyrocketing when the stock market, the NASDAQ is literally at 30,000. The S&P 500 has just made a new all-time high. So what on earth is happening with Bitcoin? As we've discussed on the channel time and time again, Bitcoin is the riskiest of assets. And you cannot expect an asset like Bitcoin that did an 8x from the bear market lows to the bull market top to keep that kind of outperformance up in a bear market. So what this means is we get the crazy upside, and believe me, we will get the crazy upside again. But when we're in a structural bear market for Bitcoin, it is highly likely that it continues to underperform the rest of the market. And we could see stocks continue to make all-time highs, but on a higher time frame, I'm still confident in saying that Bitcoin will continue to underperform. However, when the bear market low is established, that is when we get that big upside that everyone is hoping for. Not financial advice, of course, but that's what I've at least observed. And it's Bitcoin struggles in these bear market years. Doesn't matter if the stock market is making an all-time high, but we get more upside when it's time to get that upside. I hope that makes sense. What is your gut feeling for the lowest Bitcoin will go this year? My I don't want to give any numbers, really, but I don't think it's unrealistic for Bitcoin to go below 60 and maybe even below 50. All I know is that I'm a buyer at those levels. But right now, this weakness is a prime example as to why I think Bitcoin could be going lower. I think that the moment that stocks struggle, unfortunately, that's where Bitcoin drops even further. Guys, I know I've been a vocal bear, and I know sometimes it's hard to navigate the local price action. I mean, look at me. I've also lost money shorting Zcash, like I shared. So I'm not going to shy away from wins and losses. I share all of it on the channel. But I just want everyone to understand that structurally, we are still in a bear market. So yes, we can play these lower time frames, but look at that. What is that? What is that? The stock market is literally making an all-time high. Why on earth is Bitcoin rejecting again? And guys, remember, this is a key level. That's why I said we must see daily closes. And look, it's been a very long time since we've had a daily close above that level. Daily closes above $77,600. And if we cannot get those daily closes, then we start targeting these lows and we see what the outcome is. Maybe we continue to chop around. But look at this price action, guys. Look at this. We are in a structural bear market. And no one can ignore that fact. Yeah, 78K is a hard nut to crack. I like 77.6 on the higher time frames. Daily close above 77.6. It's very, very interesting to see that we're rejecting here. But, you know, we still have 9 hours until the daily close, so maybe we sweep back up. But I think that Bitcoin will continue to underperform. Don't shoot the messenger. What can I say? It's not because I want it to. Still in all my shorts, guys. Still in all my shorts. They want to hurt the Moon Boys mentality. When it's time to be up only, I'll let you guys know. Guys, I'm still in all of my trades. Bitcoin shorts, swing shorts, up around 50K on this one. And then my other short that I took on the live stream, which I'm still in, and I've secured around 20K on this trade. Guys, if you want access to all of my trades completely for free in this market, please remember you have the first link in the description down below. DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram and you'll be able to join my private group where I share all of my own personal trades and my overall market analysis. The only requirement is that you've signed up with one of these affiliate exchange links down below and you start trading on there as you normally do. So now we just see what kind of price action are we going to get? Can we get acceptance above this level? It's no joke of a level. Some of you guys were asking, why $77,600? And I see that there's some new people tuning into the live stream, so I'll explain it once more. Sorry to repeat myself. But guys, when Bitcoin gets a big dump on a weekend, 2 weekends ago, and we cannot reclaim the low of the weekend, it means that structurally Bitcoin remains weak. And so last week, my whole analysis was, if we can reclaim $77,600, I think we see continuation to the upside. If we cannot reclaim that level, then we are likely headed lower. And while we did get a couple of fake outs, 4-hour candle closes, higher time frame always trumps lower time frame. And look at what we got. Sweep, sweep, sweep. This is when we had those 4-hour closes, but look, I zoom in, we could not close above that weekend low. It is a pivotal zone. Then naturally the next day we have a massive dump. We tap into the anchored VWAP and the bottom of the bull market support band, and then we get more sweeps, and here we are today. Another potential rejection. But let's see, guys. The daily candle closes in over 9 hours from now. I will be asleep at that time. So keep your eyes on this level. Now, what I will say again, if Bitcoin gets a daily close above this level and can prove itself, show a little bit of strength, I would look to enter a long on a pullback. So it would mean the daily candle would have to close up here, and then on a pullback, I would go long, because that would mean acceptance above a previously crucial level that Bitcoin has not been able to reclaim. And that, to me, would suggest that we can grab some upside liquidity. On the lower time frames, there is significant liquidity on both sides. There is a lot of liquidity to the upside as well, but the more you zoom out, the more abundantly clear it becomes. Higher time frame analysis, lots of selling by Coinbase. Lots of selling, just a deep sea of red. And 90-day. There's still more longs on the market than shorts. Still. So we have to consider that. Hat about shorting. Hat about shorting. Not sure what you mean. I'm in my shorts, guys. I'm already in my shorts. Even in 2022, S&P was at all-time high. Exactly, Sai Mori. Let's actually take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. New price scale. $2022. Yeah, it's like, look. So Bitcoin had topped before. And I mean, it makes it easier for Bitcoin to drop when the stock market drops. That I will say. Like right now, in my opinion, the only thing that gives Bitcoin life is that stocks are above their all-time highs. If this rejects, if we get acceptance back below the previous all-time high for stocks, I would say that it's Bitcoin's time to dump properly. Do you speak Spanish as well as French? Unfortunately, I don't speak Spanish, although I would really like to. I do speak French. French was actually my first language in Canada. And guys, do not forget to like. 306 people are watching and only 113 likes. Guys, that's absolutely ridiculous. Come on. We got to smash that like button in a hurry. In a hurry. Doing my best here. I know I don't have as much energy as normal, but been traveling all day. Destroy that like button if you haven't already. The stock market is largely held up by AI companies. That we know. So, and guys, if you want to see how I'm trading the market, you know where to find me. You just scroll down, DM me CBM on Telegram. You'll be able to join my private group. But we got to destroy that like button. Let's do it. Will we have another 6-hour live? My friend, as I've stated previously, after a 13-hour flight, you are asking for a lot for another 6-hour live. Will we have another one this week? Maybe. Let me just ease my way back into it after traveling so much. Watch, Bitcoin's just gonna pop right back up. Unreal. Unreal. A low, low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Send it. Let's see. Ada Love, do you have a regular job? No, I trade. That's all I do. I trade and I do YouTube content. So I guess that's not a regular job. Hi, Matt's here. Are you also part of the Legend community along with Andy and Devault? No, I'm not. So while I do work with Andy and Devault from Mindpillar Markets on multiple endeavors, such as this tool that we're building for Mindpillar, a nice analytical tool, and also the trading competitions. We're together, all our communities together partner up, which I love. I am not within the Mindpillar Telegram community. I just have my own community where I share my market updates and my overall analysis. But guys, we're smashing it. We're literally in second place out of thousands of teams on this bluffing competition. So if you want to join and potentially earn some massive rewards, let's try to win this thing. I think we can. I really do think we can. You can join with the second link in the description down below. Super easy, especially if you're already trading on Bluffin. You just register with me. How are you going to fight the jet lag? I had a crap ton of electrolytes as soon as I got back. I took a nice shower. I'm caffeinated, although it's 7 p.m. And I will probably, as soon as I'm done the live stream, I'll probably just pass out and I'll try to sleep for as long as I can. But the reality is I'll probably end up waking up at probably like 4 in the morning, but it's okay. Get the day started early, go to the gym, just get back into the routine. Matt, my son wants to know how old you were when you started trading. Unfortunately, I can't disclose that because I've never disclosed my age, and I feel like that would give a hint as to how old I am. I was young when I started trading. I was young. So for the bluffing competition, I don't think it's, I think it's a mix of like P&L, so like profits that you've made, but I think it's also a mix of volume generated. There's a bunch of different metrics that they measure. Look at that. Squeeze it higher. Higher time frame closes are what's important, guys. Higher time frame closes. So I'll definitely, we've been live for 1 hour and 25 minutes. You guys have been great so far, so I think that we will at least be live for this 4-hour candle, which closes in over 1 hour now. So let's see, guys. Look for the daily close, guys. Look for the daily close. A daily close above 77.6 would look good. I know Grigor is already in a long from lower. He commented on my other YouTube video. His name is Cash17 and has been trading a year. Can you say how many years you've been trading for? At this point, I've been trading for nearly a decade. There's a lot of liquidity around 78.5. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, guys, if we get the daily close above here, I think we can get a squeeze higher. I really do. But if we just reject again, then my shorts will continue to print, and there's nothing else to really say on that topic. How's the 1 day? Huh. There's a lot of liquidity at 76 as well. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Are you much of a golfer? No, unfortunately, that's the one thing that I really didn't do when I was younger, and I regret it, because I have a buddy of mine. I was actually just hanging out with him. I went out for breakfast with him before I took my flight to Dubai. He's a crazy golfer. He's been golfing since he was a kid, and I regret not spending more time, because now I want to get into it, and I know it's going to be a frustrating road ahead. I'm extremely competitive, and so I think I'm going to get very frustrated, but that's okay. I will get into it though. Look, stock's a little bit of a pullback here. Bitcoin. Let's see. Can you trade and have a normal job? Yes. In fact, that's how I started, guys. I would never recommend just jumping into trading and quitting your job. I don't think it's a wise decision. I had a very good job and a very good monthly income to support my trading endeavors until I actually was able to trade properly, profitably, and regularly. I'm not going to act like there's a bunch of liars on the internet that will say, oh, I took $5 and I became a millionaire. Don't fall for that crap. Is it possible? Yeah, but you're playing with lottery numbers there. I had a full-time job. I totally agree. Bitcoin's volatility is one of its biggest strengths. The cycles feel surprisingly predictable over time, and buying low, selling high can create opportunities you rarely find. Exactly. Do you think that prop firm can get you started if you have limited capital? Yeah, it can, but you just have to make sure that you follow their rules, because I know that sometimes they can be tricky rules where if you have a certain amount of drawdown, you effectively lose your account and then you have to try again. I have to add the link in the description. I am working with one that I can start promoting for you guys if that interests you. A favorite caffeinated beverage to help against jet lag? I mean, I just like, I guess you could call it lattes, right? Coffee. I have a Nespresso thing here in my apartment in Dubai, and it's nice. I like it. I put some little bit of milk in there, and if it's very hot, which it is, I'll make it like an iced. No sugar, nothing, but just caffeine. Um, how many years did you need to start getting profitable and become a full-time trader? It took me a few years. Like before I was comfortably profitable, I would say probably like 3 years. 3 years. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Yakub Khan, my man. It's always so nice to see familiar faces. Guys, if you haven't already, destroy that like button. Destroy it. Destroy it to the point where your computer breaks. Smash that like button like you've never smashed anything before. Yusuf Geo, hello. Lovely familiar faces. The if the computer breaks, won't be able to watch your streams, bro. Valid. That's valid. Um, yes, I do. Stay awake. You can't sleep at least 1 more hour. Yeah, I will stay awake. I got you guys. I got you guys. As long as you guys are vibing in the chat and we get some interesting price action. I've already had a couple caffeinated beverages, but honestly, I don't want to have another one because after the stream, I'm just gonna pass out. Just pass out. And sorry if you're in my premium group, if you're watching this, there's not going to be an update. Like I have nothing to share if nothing happens, of course. But I'll if anything, if an emergency happens when it comes to my trades or any other opportunities that I see, you guys are first to know in my premium group before I come on the YouTube channel. It's so much easier to update on Telegram as well. And if you want access to that, you know where to find me. DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram and you'll be able to join that group. It is free. Jean de Machine, hey yo, good morning, good morning. I clicked the like button so hard my PC broke. Now I watch from my phone. Damn. That's how hard you guys should be clicking that like button. Are traditional banks in the UAE and the Gulf region crypto friendly? Yes, yes. That's one of the reasons why I moved out here. The UAE is very, very crypto friendly. I think you can actually pay, they just came out, you can pay for some government fees or services with crypto. Don't quote me on that, but I haven't quite looked into it because it's been implemented since I wasn't in the country. Gregor, should we expect an update at 3, 4 a.m.? No, you shouldn't expect anything. And if you do get an update at 3, 4 a.m., you can be pleasantly surprised. Gregor's in the premium group, guys. That's why it's I can make a couple inside jokes with him. Can you go grab something like last Friday so there would be interesting price action? That was crazy, wasn't it? We were waiting for the dump on the live stream to go long, and then the second that I leave, the 1 second, I come back and the price just flew right through the level. Are you back in the UAE? Yes, I am. I am in Dubai, Habibi. Is Dubai less crowded than what it used to be? Honestly, as far as I can tell, it looks exactly the same. In fact, the airport was very busy, people coming into the country. I'm telling you guys, What you see on social media is not real. I'm here. I've lived through it. It was scary when it started, but now I feel pretty comfortable. But I'm not going to be staying for the entirety of the summer because it gets just so hot. So hot here. Why are you such an optimistic person? It seems like you don't care too much about your losses. Ada Love 7564. That's a good question. Well, one, I make more money than I lose. So let's just get that out of the way. If I didn't make more money than I lost, then maybe I would have different thoughts, right? Two, I'm not someone that dwells on things, right? I just think that overall, that's a bad mentality to have about life in general, let alone your crypto trades. If you dwell on the past, if you dwell on losses, it doesn't bring you anywhere. It doesn't drive you forward. It doesn't move the needle forward in any aspect of your life. It just keeps you down. So, in general, I would say I'm just a very optimistic person, even outside of trading. Any kind of losses that I incur in my life, setbacks, injuries when I was playing football, for example, I'm just super optimistic, and I think that that's the way that you should be living your life, to truly live a fulfilling life and have a positive impact on others. I'm not gonna get all sobby with you guys, but yeah, I prefer to be an optimist. And some of you that have been watching the channel for a while would say, well, no, you're full of shit because you've been bearish on Bitcoin. You've just been nothing but bearish, bearish, bearish. Guys, I still think that Bitcoin will head lower over the course of this year. But long term, I am optimistic and I am very, very bullish on Bitcoin. Yeah, Turkey is supposedly very good for crypto as well. Looks like it's coming down to hunt 76,271 below the wick. Yeah, that could be nice. That could be a nice zone. Still a higher low. Vikas 19969. My friend, you don't need to send the same question 3 times in the chat. I see it. And unfortunately, guys, if you spam in the chat, then I have to remove you from the chat. But to answer your question, my long position in Bitcoin, can I hold for target, which is 78,150, or I need to exit? I have no clue what your entry is, my man. How's the nightlife in Dubai? It's great. Can't complain. But at this stage in my life, I prioritize work and stuff. So when I do go out, it's fun. I have a great time, but I try not to do it too often because it sets me back the next day. Do you like Jasmine? I will probably not talk about alts that much on this stream. I know it's an altcoin, but I haven't done any research on it, so I can't really give you an informed opinion on it. All I know is that when Bitcoin chops, if we move higher, the select alts that have been outperforming can probably continue to outperform. However, the moment that Bitcoin drops, I think that the overall altcoin market will likely bleed more than Bitcoin. Let's scroll up here. Hype grabbing liquidity up or down? I guess, look, we talked about hype on the channel, so I'll entertain it. I mean, sheesh. Yeah. Looks pretty good. We did it. So this is good. Swept the highs. Just. New all-time high for hype. That's what you want to see. Alts are good only for shorting when Bitcoin is falling. You ever come to the States? Not that often, no. But I have before. When I was younger, I actually played a lot of football tournaments in the States. Or I should say soccer, but call it football. King K, let's see. It's a bit early to say with absolute certainty that we're going to close the daily candle anywhere. All I know is that I didn't want to do Bitcoin dominance. Where are we? Yeah, this is what I wanted to show you guys. Look at the monthly candle for Bitcoin. We got a few more days in the month, but I wouldn't be surprised if the monthly closed red, to be honest, which would put Bitcoin below 76,271. Just putting that out there. I wouldn't be surprised. This is very manipulative price action. I think that both sides will probably get squeezed. The first move at market open is usually false. Yeah, when we opened, we had a nice pump and then we just dumped afterwards. True. Price action past week or so is basically indicating that it's only a matter of time before rolling over. If not, it will be a major bear trap. Yeah, valid. I mean, look at this, guys. We just cannot get closes above the level. Let's see. Don't overcomplicate it. If we get the close above, I'm longing on a pullback. Just keeping it real. Initially, I was thinking 79.1K is on the cards, but past few days of price action says we don't have legs to get there. Yeah, so this is what I was saying, Ganesh. A lot of people have said, they've been vocal about the fact that, hey, I will short Bitcoin. We're going to get that relief rally up to $79,000 to $80,000. It's going to happen. I will short it. But if everyone's looking at that area to short, maybe we front run it. That's why I'm already in shorts. And this was shared in my group again. And this is why, even though when Bitcoin was here, I constantly talked about this high confluence zone up to between $82,000 to $85,000. Everyone was eyeing this zone. So I was already in a short, and based on this price action, it was already telling me that we were going to roll over. If everyone eyes a zone, even if there's tons of confluence, tons of liquidity, we can always just front run that zone. Guys, imagine a scenario here, because we talk about liquidity on my channel a lot, but imagine a scenario here where Bitcoin rejects, we grab these lows, and then we make it all the way down to here, where there's a lot of liquidity, right? And once we make it there, and the reason why this level is important is because it's the anchored VWAP from the 60K low. So this is going to be another pivotal one. You can see we get the reaction when we break below and reclaim. And then when everyone's saying, oh, sub 60, finally it's coming, then we pop back up. Like this, like bear market price action can be exhausting. It really can be, guys. So I don't want to set any false expectations. The chop can continue, whether we like it or not. We don't control the markets. Oil will spike soon. Yeah, if oil spikes, then GG's. Smash the like. I like your channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate your support. My man, John316. I'm getting some notifications now on CoinGlass saying that there's hundreds of Bitcoins, thousands of Bitcoins getting transferred to Coinbase, which is usually a potential sign of selling. So let's see. Still forming higher low-ish. Yeah, the price action is designed to chew you up and spit you out. US escalating ships again in the Gulf. Project Liberty. I find the names of these projects quite comical sometimes, but Learn01, I've explained this before, but if everyone wants me to explain it again, I can. I'll see if it's a consensus. I think everyone here already knows why I think Bitcoin can make a new low this year. Guys. Tahula's husband? Guys, come on. You know I'm a swing trader, but why? You're telling me to open up the 1 minute time frame. Looks like we're coiling up. No comments. Darren Mitchell, great to see you, mate. How are we doing on likes? 200 likes? I look exhausted. Wow. Hello, Matsir. Great content. Love the videos. Desmond Zoller. Thank you, my man. I appreciate it. $201 likes. Yeah, guys, so I am going to start doing 3 live streams and 3 videos a week. It seems like that's the consensus. That's what the community wants, and that's what I will deliver. Do you think a big leg down will take place soon or in June? I mean, normally we get local tops in June, but sometimes it's local bottoms. So the thing is, there's a scenario again where Bitcoin dumps below 70K and then we pop right back up and chop around before going even lower later in the year. But we haven't quite explored that on the channel, so I'll try to do a video talking about it. But it's something that needs to be on everyone's radar. I think that this crappy price action can continue. I really do. Do you watch anything on YouTube, and what do you normally watch on YouTube? Normally, what I watch on YouTube is football highlights, tennis highlights, some commentary from time to time, and podcasts. Yeah, short video update is fine as well. Live streams are a must whenever something major is happening. Yeah, 100%. Did it do? Did it do? Did it do? It feels like we'll not have that big leg anytime soon. Probably that's the perfect environment to have one. Yeah, it's so tricky, guys. I wish I need to still order that crystal ball. I wish I could tell you guys with absolute certainty when something like this happens, but you know, it's just very, very difficult to give you an answer to that. We know that in midterm years, we typically trend lower towards the latter half of the year. We know that the liquidity is relatively even, in some cases a little bit more shorts than longs, but on the highest of time frames, you see more longs than shorts. So there's a lot that impacts this, right? But if everyone thinks that we're having a big leg down and everyone jumps into shorts, then naturally the market could be holding up better and we grab that short liquidity before moving lower. See, now we have some below us. 1 month, what does that tell us? Look at that, right? We've got 3 months. There's a little, like there's a good amount up there, but there's still a lot below as well. Still got that up there. I just don't see the buyers for Bitcoin, you know? I think that this is market makers having a laugh. I believe in Bitcoin because it's the soundest form of money. Is it safe to say that if Bitcoin closes below the bull market support band on a daily close, then the leg down is confirmed? There is no safe, but what I would say is that would add some confluence. So that would be like a close below here, you're saying. I would probably defer to this low. If we get like a daily close below here, 74.2, then there's a chance that the next big move down can occur. All longs probably took profit, so there isn't as much stop losses below anymore, I think. Well, look, 74 is a big, it's the highest cluster on this 90-day map. Like, it's a huge cluster. And then we have all the way down at 70. Okay. 4-hour close below here, it would look pretty bad for Bitcoin. Like, it would look like we want to make a nice sweep. of the downside liquidity. But you never know. It's not over till it's over. I've seen candles reverse instantly. Candle closes are important. What if Satoshi is CIA project? Well, if he is, then I'd like to thank the CIA for making me a lot of money. Now it feels like a big dump is brewing. I don't know, my man. The thing is, a lot of people let their emotions dictate. Like, I've seen a sweep and then maybe a pop up. Now we're dropping. Look, look, look. Let's see here. And why is Bitcoin dumping now? Let's keep it as simple as possible, my friends. Look at that. Stock market pumps, Bitcoin struggles to pump. Stock market dumps, Bitcoin dumps. As simple as that. Like I would consider maybe entering a long here. But I'm content in my shorts and I will sit on my hands for now. What time period do you reckon the bear market bottom will form? October? It's possible because we know that historically it can be 1 year from the top to the bottom, but I don't want to say that it has to be in October because then if it's not in October, I get flamed. I'm going to buy when I see attractive prices. So if that means Bitcoin dumps aggressively and sooner rather than later, then I will be ready to buy. I'm open to whatever happens. If we have a really, really aggressive move to the downside, then that could be it for Bitcoin and that could be the bottom in, right? So, yeah, those are my thoughts. I like the music. Thank you. Found a new live stream non-copyright video I could use. Your analysis is awesome. I make 10K USD by watching your videos. Awesome, man. AI Connect. Congrats. I'm happy I can provide you that kind of value. Phenomenal. Will buy when all crypto Twitter screams we're going much lower. This is your line in the sand, 76.6. Yeah, could be. Respect that you want to do a live stream after your flight. Always glad to see your streams. Thanks, my man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Corwin. Tom White, what time period do you... Okay, we answered that. Your review on esports. Yeah, that was a massive pump and dump. Can you lend me some money? Oh, AI Connect. Rick Ty is asking you for some money. We're gonna run it. We're gonna run for another 30 minutes. I want to see how the 4-hour candle closes. But I am ready to... What do you think Zcash can do if Bitcoin gets over 78K? It can probably move higher. Is the inverse head and shoulders invalidated? Technically, no. Guys, I don't trade really this kind of pattern, but technically it wouldn't be because look. So you could actually come down here. You start getting to the sub 76K, then yeah. Rubio says Iran deal talks will take several more days. Just got that notification. Did you ever try to trade anything other than crypto? Yeah, I trade stocks, precious metals as well. Although it's even more higher time frame. Like a lot of the time, it's like spot holding. And the reason I trade crypto even with these shitty market conditions is because I have an edge in crypto. So find wherever you have your edge. Some people it's forex, crypto, gold. It doesn't really matter. But I like staying in crypto because not only do I make money on the way up, but I can easily make money on the way down. And when we hit those dirt cheap prices, they are great, great opportunities in my opinion. And then you accumulate. Tuesday red, Wednesday green. This has been the pattern. Let's see. We need to trap more longs. Dump it, dump it, dump it. I am interested in a long, guys. Even if it's just fuck. Let's see. I'm holding my swing shorts. Dun, 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 dun. It's an interesting level, guys. This is a very interesting level. Still in my shorts. Still in my shorts. Shorts are looking good. Stock market below all-time highs. If we get acceptance below here, guys, on the 4-hour, this can see some downside, which would naturally not be good for Bitcoin. I am shorting. Can you leave the room and come back? Yeah, guys, stocks below. Doom, doom, doom. Yeah, SpaceX IPO could be a local top. Volco Nomad, my man, don't even bother with Kraken. Telling you, just join me on Bluffin. It's better. But I right now, a general rule of thumb, guys, when you see the price nuking, that's not when you enter a short. You do it on the move up when everyone's expecting the move to continue at local potential rejection points. One of those points being $77,600. Let's see, guys. Bow, wow, wow. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, the reason why 76,271, the yellow line on my chart, is important is because it's the value area high of this entire range. Maybe if I stretch it out, let's adjust it, because I haven't adjusted it in quite some time. Maybe it's... Yeah, so now we're below the level. We dropped below it, we reclaimed it, and now we're back below. This is a tricky zone, guys. This is a tricky, tricky zone. Some of you guys were talking about order flow. Dan Boy, do you really think Bitcoin will go lower than 60K this year? Yeah, I do. I do. My opinion on that hasn't changed, guys. I know it seems unlikely with Bitcoin at 75, but I've been in bear markets before and I've seen how this price action can develop. Is it a guaranteed? No. There's no guarantees in this game. But what I will say is that it would not surprise me whatsoever. I would say right now there's probably, I would say, a 60 to 65% chance that we see Bitcoin sweep those lows at the very least. Now the question is when, because this could take a long time to play out. If people jump into shorts, I would imagine it will take much, much longer. So maybe it makes sense to get everyone to jump into longs, everyone except you guys, of course, and then we could just flush everyone. Thank you, brother. Grigor, I actually agree with you too. There is a probability that we can go lower. Just like when I was talking about the confluence levels when I look for shorts in this market. Everyone was looking at 85k, we didn't get 85k. Everyone now is looking at 79 to 80k. Oh, there's liquidity. What if we grab that? What if we don't? And what if we just move lower? So there's these things that you must consider. And on Grigor's point, what if we go way lower than people are anticipating? And it's just absolutely devastating for everyone. Something for us to consider. What's your career biggest loss? I think it was like, I think, I'm trying to remember the exact number. It was on Bitcoin, and I think it was a long before I even had my community. I'm pretty sure it was close to like $120,000. Um, yeah, that was a painful one. Do, 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 do. I think one thing about you, you do really well. You do really know how to master your emotion, which is great. Believe me, it wasn't always like that. It took a while to build that up. But thank you. I appreciate it. It's something that I've worked very hard on. Longtime fan, love your work. Keep it up. Thank you very much, my man. I appreciate you. In all caps, how can you lose 120k if you don't sell it and you believe in Bitcoin for the long run? There is something called trading with leverage, longing and shorting. You don't just hold a long open indefinitely. Unless your entry was at the bear market lows, which would be awesome. So I hope that answers your question. I hold spot Bitcoin, but I also trade the market. And this person was asking about my trading. So yeah. Use of Geo, yeah, it's possible, man. It's totally possible. This is a zone that I'm eyeing. So let's see. I would like a sweep of this level though, but we're also below the value area. Like for me, I think I would prefer a reclaim of the value area high again. If we test the value area high and we manage to reclaim it, then things look a little bit better. But right now we're below it. Still holding my shorts. Yusuf Geo, are you talking about this level? So this wick right here? Sweeping this wick and then going for a long? That's actually not a bad idea, my friend. It would be something that I'd be interested in. So yeah, right around 76. Vocal Nomad, yeah, that's a decent tutorial. I'll try to do some more tutorials because I know a lot of people were asking. I'll do some more tutorials. What would you say is the best technique to master your emotions? The best technique would be to have your trade, set it, and walk away from the screen. But the number one thing outside of that, I have to say, and you guys have heard me say this before, is to only use an amount of capital that you're comfortable losing. So to be able to walk away from your computer with your profit target and your stop loss, you have to know that if you lose the trade, it's okay. It doesn't actually impact your life. And that's what I would say. So it really is a sizing issue, and then your emotions kind of fall into check. That's what I've learned about myself. Is SFP your main strategy? No, not at all. I do SFPs on the stream because it's easier to get entries. Although sometimes, as you can see, I'm not getting any entries on trades. I don't want to force anything. But no, I'm more of a swing trader. I mastered my emotion ignoring my wife's yelling. That's a good one as well. You guys are funny. Be right back. What about crashing? No one considers that. I consider it. Guys, if I didn't think that there was a good chance Bitcoin would dump, I wouldn't be holding my shorts, guys. But from a risk to reward perspective, I'm looking for longs because I'm already in my shorts, as you saw. Did you quit the room for a dump like before? I mean, if I did, that would be one of the quickest ones ever. I don't know about you guys, but I take a while when I do that. I believe we will dump more and pump from October. Osama, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible, my man. But the thing is, we don't just go down or up in a straight line. So, something to consider. Grigor, remember that ETH short you closed at a loss some time ago and this recent Zcash short? I think both of them were opened at a bad entry price. What do you think? Grigor, I agree. I agree. When I reflect on Zcash, and maybe you guys can attest to this if you're in my community, maybe it would be helpful for me to share like some um oh, stocks, that's why Bitcoin's struggling. Look at the stock market, guys. But maybe I can do a little bit of like a post-mortem, my trades and where I went wrong whenever I lose. I think that could be interesting learning experience for everyone. I looked at the Zcash structure, and on the weekly time frame, we actually closed above the candle body. So I had a chance to get out, and we had a relatively good close on the weekly time frame, right? So that was my first sign to get the hell out of that trade, but I didn't, and I only noticed it after the fact. So that's something to consider. But yeah, guys, if stocks do this, cooked. Double top on the stock market. How's Nasdaq doing? A little bit of a drop, a little bit of a double top as well. Yes, that would be extremely helpful. Okay, I will do it. Thanks for the feedback, guys. I will do it. I think that's a really good idea. Because also, you have to understand that if I were to do that, it allows me to reflect on my own stuff as well. And that makes me a better trader over time, too. Do you believe the 4-year cycle is still relevant? Yes, I do. Can you tell me about how current stock market affects Bitcoin? Sure. So in midterm years, the stock market can make all-time highs, which we've seen, and Bitcoin can still struggle. But what's annoying about this price action, especially if you're bullish on Bitcoin, is Bitcoin already ran its multiples. It already did an 8x from the bear market bottom to the bull market top. Bear with me here. I am exhausted. So because we got so much upside with Bitcoin, it's unreasonable to expect it to be strong in the bear market. It doesn't work like that. You have to give to get, right? So in this case, we're giving in the bear market, severe underperformance, to get in the bull market. And stocks can make all-time highs in midterm years, and Bitcoin typically struggles. And this is mainly noticeable whenever stocks pump. Bitcoin pumps way less than you would expect. And when stocks dump ever so slightly, I mean, all things considered, this is still bullish. Stock market still looks very bullish. Bitcoin drops more than you could possibly imagine. So for the bulls, it's a very frustrating scenario where Bitcoin drops more than the stock market, but it also goes up less than the stock market. But that's only in bear market years. So that's kind of the correlation. So we just swept the level, guys. I am comfy in my shorts, but I am nuke it. Nuke it. Nuke it, nuke it, nuke it. Nuke it. Dump that shit, baby. 60K Bitcoin tonight? Just kidding. This takes a long time. We got some more chopping to do. Unless stocks just dump like you would not believe. Guys, if the price just nukes for the next 30 minutes, I might have to just stay on the stream, even though I'm just kaput. Let's see if we get any kind of messing around going into the 4-hour candle. Wow. I mean, that's ugly. That's ugly. But the ugly candles are the ones you should be longing, a wise man once said. Are you taking the trade, CBM? Are you asking about... Do I long is the question. Guys, remember, any trades that I take shared within my community, first link in the description down below, DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram, and you'll be able to join my private group where I share all of my own trades and my overall market analysis. Okay. Soul Stasher. Unfortunately, I don't know how to speak Dutch. Nick Tooney, can you look at hype? We already looked at it, but I can bring it up. I can bring it up in a bit. So I'm looking at here. Sorry guys, it's much more relaxing when I'm just charting and I'm not actually chatting too much. do 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 do. The volume for this dump is higher than most prior wicks. The volume for this dump? I don't know why I always have to search the volume. Like, it should just be automatically there. It's a big one, right? Pretty big cluster of volume. Big selling pressure. Is that just the beginning, is the question. Roth Trader, I don't see a super bullish day today. Oh, escalation, Iran war. Oh, I thought we said we were going to have a deal for the 100th time. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. Man, oh, man. Guys, I know I look scrappy, but tomorrow I'm getting a fresh beard trim and trim overall. So I'll be looking crisp for the live stream and I'll be more rested. But 2.5 hours, I'll take it. Ada Love, how did you learn trading? Which books did you read? I only read a couple and I'd have to go pick them out to show you, but I took a couple of courses, but I have to be honest, I did the majority of my learning through losing money. That's why I constantly say that you should not be doing demo trading, rather jump into it and use a really small amount of capital so you know that there's something at stake. You look tired. Rick Ty, my man. I don't know if you just came to the live stream, but I just flew from Canada to Dubai, and within 1 hour of landing, I flicked on this live stream. So, yeah, I am. It's a 13-hour flight. When is the buzz cut coming? It will come. It will come at some point, my friends. It will come at some point. When will you have another live? So I'm working on that schedule. I know some of you like the lives, some of you prefer the videos, so it's going to be 3 live streams, 3 videos per week. And 1 video for sure is on the Sunday. 1 live stream for sure is on the Monday. I think Tuesday would be a live stream. Wednesday, so tomorrow, would be a video. Thursday, I might end up doing 2 videos a week. I don't know. Because the thing is, guys, with the videos, oftentimes, like if you go back and watch the previous video I posted, everything applies, right? They're a lot less time sensitive. Versus live, we can really analyze what's going on together, and I get to connect with you a lot more. That's what I was trying to say in my Telegram group. And guys, if you want to be able to vote on how I produce my content and stuff like that, this isn't even my group where I share my trades. This one down below, it's just like a general Telegram group if you'd like to join that. I sometimes post updates there when I go live, when I Friday live should be permanent. Live every day, please. Who's standing behind you? JK, don't scare me like that. It's nighttime here. Looks like we could be slowing down here, guys. Still in my shorts. You still in Canada, Roth Trader? No, I'm in Dubai. If you listen to the live stream, I just said that's why I look so tired. I've been on the plane for 13 hours. It's a long flight. Could you estimate for how long this candle will have high selling pressure? Well, the candle's already closed, right? So it's more the next candle. And no, I have no way of really estimating. Usually when you start forming wicks, though, this could be signs of potentially bottoming out. So now we just have to wait and see. Well, you are Canadian. That's what is wrong with your name. My name is pronounced Mathieu. When Lambo? You guys want me to buy a supercar and then start doing vlogs like all those other crypto influencers? I can do it if you want me to. No. I refuse to do that kind of stuff. Who's your trading mentor? Myself. I think based on what we're seeing here, and I could be wrong, this is a nasty rejection, right? It is. Because we closed. There's some hope though, because we didn't close below this wick. But if I had to guess, for the next couple hours or so, we're going to be in here. Like, I don't think we're going to see too much crazy price action. Unless it's the beginning of the end and we just start nuking. Here comes the dump. 1-2s, 1-2s to the downside. Let's see. Wait till enough, go long, then quick sweep down. Well, you can buy it and let me use it instead. Yusuf Geo, 1 hour bullish divergence. I usually don't pay attention to that, especially on like lower time frames like the 1 hour. I just not something I personally look at. Rai Kumar, did you understand my question? 1 hour time frame when shoulders get trapped. When shoulder gets tapped, it gives full upside target. Is this the same case? What do you mean? Like what we're seeing right now? Yeah, it's still possible. It's still a possibility. Sorry guys, not as sharp today. Hey Matsuri, love the shirt. Thank you, my man. It's my Dubai shirt. Rick Ty, it does look like the beginning of the end. Hope not. I have no shorts open. I don't know. Maybe we bounce. We got some upside liquidity. We are seeing some drawdown here. Oof. 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 Send it. Do something. Okay. Hey, do you live on the Palm? No, I do not. Guys, I'm doing well for myself, but not well enough to afford a $50 million house on the Palm. So no. You need sleep, bro. I do. I do, my man. Guys, I think, you know, we'll wrap it up here. My apologies. I feel as if I'm very, very lackluster and I can't focus. And I think it's just because I've been flying for 13 hours. So, guys, almost a 3-hour live stream today. We'll be doing some other ones in the coming days for sure. If you haven't already, two things. One, if you want to see how I'm trading the market, DM me the keywords CBM on Telegram, and you'll be able to join my private group. It's where I share all of my own personal trades and my overall market analysis. And the only requirement is that you've signed up with one of these links and you start trading on there with your own capital as you normally do anyways, but you get access to my group on top of that with the bonuses. I typically recommend Bluffin, and they have a great promotion going on where you can join with the second link. And if you don't want any of that, you just want to tune into the free content, that's fine. But I would recommend you just join this general Telegram group because I will be giving you my schedule in terms of how I'm going to be producing content. And I post some other stuff in there just for fun. So I think that's a wrap for today. This is a potential sweep zone. This is a potential sweep zone. So this could be an interesting long setup depending on whether or not we have a majority of longers jumping in here. If too many people go long, then naturally we create the possibility to sweep the low again. But this could be an even more interesting zone, right below $76,000, depending on the price action that we get. With these sweeps, it's always a drop below and then a reclaim, and then the stop is effectively below the low once you're in, shaving profits to protect your position and take those fees out, and then ideally you let it ride. So I'll keep you updated if I decide to take a new trade, as always. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe. I'm going to get some rest. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.